I'm Champaign native Emily Harrington. You're watching the podcast where townies and transplants share their tales of tears and triumphs, losses and wins, proving week after week that everyone has a story to tell. Welcome to HyperLocals. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the next episode of the HyperLocals podcast. Well, I'm going to do something I have never done before in 200 plus episodes. Often, my husband will come every 8 episodes or so, and him and I will talk about our lives and what's going on. He got really caught up in work, so the studio space is here. I'm here. I have makeup on and a nice shirt, so I'm just going to try to do this solo. And I have seen other podcasts recently doing kind of like AI generated or chat GPT generated interview questions, and then the host will answer the questions. And it also occurs to me that I'm uncomfortable answering questions or talking about myself. My husband said the audience needs to know who I am in some respects. He has interviewed me before, and that was kind of an intro to me and my idiosyncrasies. So I am going to go through an AI-generated list of questions and try to let the audience get to know me. There's no one in the room right now. So I am running the timer. I am running the break clock. I have my computer, my water, my coffee. So I've got everything I should need to keep this show rolling. And I see the record button going, so that's exciting. And again, I don't like talking about myself. Why I do this, why I interview others is so that I don't have to speak about myself. I'm constantly just ping-ponging the ball out of my court. And I don't know why. It says something about me, but I just don't. I get uncomfortable. So this is going to be stretching myself, challenging myself. Okay. Already this first question. I'm like nervous. Okay. How would I describe myself in 10 words or fewer? So 10 words or fewer. How would I describe myself? I would describe myself as crazy, as inflexible, routine oriented, obsessive, and when I say crazy, I mean crazy in the best way, okay? Joyful. I am self-reflective. I am self-aware, meaning you can't tell me anything I don't already know about myself. I already haven't analyzed about myself. I had already tried to change about myself. I am extremely aware of my faults. Okay, 3 more. Hard on myself. So critical. And critical of others. Critical of myself and critical of others. So critical. 2 more. Let's make these positive. Oh, disciplined. I am disciplined. And I am disciplined to a point of obsession. About what I eat, fitness, sleep, waking up, cleanliness, routine. I am just very disciplined. And I will make things a habit and I will stick to them. And if I don't stick to them, I'm hard on myself. So discipline is definitely a big adjective for me, for good or bad. And then I'm organized. And I have said this before in the earlier podcast that Andrew and I did together. He interviewed me about my obsessive compulsive disorder. And I've done a speech about it. I'm relatively open about it. But ever since I was little, this isn't a joke, I would label my scissors, okay? My tape, I would print out labels and stick them on these common, well-known objects. And that was that was the start of a life with this disorder, honestly, and learning to manage it and learning to push it down and learning to trade it in for other things and learning tools to function with it. So today, I believe that I am at the best place I have ever been with OCD in terms of controlling it, using alternative tools to make it less of a nagging, chronic, repetitive thought that needs action. One time I was talking to a woman and she was a fully working woman, right? Round the clock, working at home, in the business office. She was a working woman and she knew it, right? So to the working woman, I am often a anomaly because I am a stay-at-home mom. I get to do something that I love for fun and not necessarily for a paycheck. So I'm unusual in that respect. And she said to me, I just don't have the time to do those things, those repetitive cleaning, those nagging things that nag at my brain that I have to operate on, act, do. And when she said that, I didn't have the right response to what she said. And I wish of course, in retrospect, I would have said, well, just take those thoughts, right? Those repetitive nagging over your shoulder, constant thoughts that you need to act on, and then remove that time aspect. You don't have the time to do them. So there's a constant stress about completing a task to the fullest capacity, maybe having to start over on the task because you didn't do it just right. So you have to do it over, and maybe you have to do it over 2 or 3 or 4 times. So when this woman said she didn't have the time to do it, I don't have the time to do it either. But it's a compulsion that you feel like you have to complete in order to get the thought away. And once the thought is gone, another one will creep up. So it's just a never-ending list of irrelevant, dumb stuff that doesn't matter. And if I could go back and take all the time that I spent on tasks that didn't matter or were that just did not matter, that will probably go down as my biggest regret in life, is wasting that time on these obsessive acts that just had no positive result. Okay, that was a long number 1. Oh my God, I'm at 8 minutes. This is kind of along the same lines. What are my strengths and weaknesses? So just as I would say my weaknesses are my strengths in a lot of ways. This perfectionism, this obsessive compulsive nature, this discipline, it is my strength. But because I'm so rigid and inflexible on what has to happen and when it has to happen and everything's immediate and right now, because I can't wane or flex or be fluid on anything, those strengths that make my life clean and organized and well-run also, they make me crazy when things don't go like I need them to go, like I had in my head they were going to go, like I wanted them to go. And then that spills over into my mood or my family, because now I'm grouchy or pissed off because things didn't go the way that they were supposed to go, in the time they were supposed to go, in the manner in which it was supposed to be executed. So my strengths and my weaknesses are almost the same thing. What runs my life, what makes my motor go, also makes me insane on the other side. Okay. Oh my gosh, my first break. Okay, I'm going to hit the break button, 2 minutes, and I will be back to you. And we are back. Thank you very much for joining me on this solo journey, okay? Still getting comfortable with the camera. And this is a really intense eye contact with the audience. And so I hope you're comfortable. I'm a little uncomfortable, but I'm trying my best. I'm feeling more and more comfortable, okay? Okay, next question. What's a trait I admire in someone else that I would love to have? And this is, again, going back to the aforementioned questions. I admire a laissez-faire, go with the flow attitude. Someone that can bend and flex and change and pivot on a dime and do it without getting flustered, grumpy, or letting it alter or ruin their day. Someone who can just go with the flow. I had a sister-in-law, my former sister-in-law, had a way about her that was so light and joyful and unaffected by outside variables or bad moments or bad news, or she would always keep, nothing would really get her down. And one time I was crying my eyes out about potty training. It was impossible to potty train my firstborn. I mean, impossible. I did everything I possibly could to control the situation, which is on brand for me. And I was at the pool and she was with me and I was telling her about it and I started to cry because I was like 8 months pregnant too. But of course, I wanted kid 1 to be potty trained and all cleaned up and tidy before kid 2 came, right? So that was really stressing me out. And I was telling her about it and tears are coming down my face. And she starts to tell me about her new organic shampoo. And, you know, in the moment, I thought, what the hell is she talking about? What is she doing? I am opening up here, okay? And she's talking to me about shampoo. Now, in retrospect, in hindsight, maybe it was a mechanism she uses to kind of switch the energy, because it sure the hell made me stop crying because it was so shocking. But she had this light and airy way about her. And I appreciate that in a person, because above all else, what's important for me is the order and the cleanliness and the routine and the discipline and the habits building. So to have someone that's such a free spirit in your circle, it's really interesting to watch. So if I could take a little free spirit, I think that would be a trait that I would admire in others. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I when no one is watching? I'm a big eater. I like to eat. a lot. So you might see me really chowing down. I like to walk around without clothes on sometimes. It's just, I'm just comfortable that way. And honestly, my mom did. So I think when I was little, so I think I've just grew up that way, but I'm very comfortable. So when no one is watching, sometimes I would walk around the nude. Now, that's like from the shower or from bed. It's not like I'm not stripping down to walk around. It's just circumstantial. Okay, what else? Who am I when no one is watching? I mean, I'm extremely routine and or goal oriented and task oriented, where I have blinders on. What? Oh gosh, this is good. This is good. What and who matters most to me in my life? That is so simple. So simple. There are 3 people under my roof. My husband says I say roof weird. Roof. There are 3 people under my roof that I would rather be with more than any other people on the planet. And now we have a puppy. So let's add the puppy in. Okay? But I'm not a huge dog person. This is the only dog I've ever liked. So I'm going to put the 3 humans above, okay? My husband and my 2 sons, Fletcher and Nolan, and our baby girl puppy, Piper, okay? Sometimes when all of us are together, let's say out to dinner or watching a movie or whatever, I get a sense that I very, 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 very rarely get where all is right in the world. And this is all I need in the entire world. And it's a feeling of contentment. And it's this, people describe it as my cup is full, my heart is full. I don't like those expressions, but that is the feeling, that this is all I need in the world. And, my husband and I was nervous to have kids too. I would say that he had to encourage me to have children because my neat and tidy world would get messy and uncontrollable variables would come in. So I was nervous about it. I really was. Nervous my whole first pregnancy. I was just an anxious wreck. But I look at those 2 human boys that we created that are 50% me, 50% Andrew, and 100% of just absolute delicious perfection. And there is just not much better than that. There is not much better than that. What is something I have learned about myself recently? Oh my God. Okay. I love my dog. I love my dog. And I feel an emotional connection to this dog. Never before in my entire life have I felt like this for any animal. In fact, I despise most animals. Don't want anything to do with them. Don't want to touch them. Could care less. And I love her. And I was nervous about getting her. My husband kind of encouraged me to get the dog. He had to encourage me to have kids, best decision, had encouraged me to get Piper, best decision, and had encouraged me to buy our house that we're in now because I didn't want to go through the rigmarole and the stress and the change that comes with moving and starting over in a new space. All three of those things, the house, the dog, and the kids, absolutely the three greatest decisions we've ever made, honestly, outside of getting married. So that started it all. What is something I've learned about myself recently? So where the hell was I going with that? Oh, I love dogs. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe I love a dog. I will stroke her belly, her fur, tell her I love her, kiss her, make up, love names for her, tell her stories. It's insane because it is unprecedented. I grew up with cats and never felt an emotional connection like I do with that dog. I love her. I actually borderline hated our last dog. He was a nuisance, you guys. He was an absolute barking nuisance. He's lucky he lasted with us that long, okay? Because he didn't like our kids. He never took to the children. We had 3 different professionals at different courses of his life trying to train him. I got on the news once for the world's or the county or the town's worst dog. And they did a segment of me at the dog park with our dog. I'm just so surprised that I am capable of feeling this way toward an animal. Okay, time for my second break. I'm doing great, okay? And going to break. And we are back. Emily Harrington here, host, my first ever solo pod. This is not going to become a habit, so don't worry if you don't like this, okay? But stick it out with me, okay? Oh, this is a great question. How would I rate my self-confidence? What's lacking? I think about this a lot. And I think about my self-confidence then and now, meaning school-aged, right, and now. And I don't know if I didn't have the self-awareness that I have now, but I seem so much more conscious of myself, my looks, the way I'm acting, what I'm saying. Where back then, I didn't care. I just had no hang-ups about myself. And the older I've gotten, the more I have thought about how I present myself, how I'm acting, how I'm dressing. And most recently, as the kids have gotten older. Because when the kids were young, we're in such a hustle bustle that you don't really have time to think. But lately, as in the past 2-3 years, I have just been more conscious of what comes out of my mouth. What I say, how I present myself. Maybe that has something to do with the pod. I don't know. And then I remember after I got married, I felt extremely self-confident. When I got into a serious relationship, I felt comfortable in my own skin. Growing up, I never, so maybe, because things are different now, but growing up, I could never be without my hair done. I could never be without makeup done. Once I reached 7th grade or puberty, I would never be seen without hair and makeup and a cute outfit. In fact, so much so that my girlfriends in middle school, I lost a bet. And I had to wear cutoff jeans, and a casual t-shirt and no makeup and hair in a ponytail. And that was a huge deal because I had a full face on every day of middle school, every day of 7th and 8th grade. So now all of a sudden I'm going to have to show up barefaced, showing my true self. And that was difficult. I really cheated and I did like a light tinted moisturizer because I just couldn't do it. And chapstick because I just couldn't do it. I just was not comfortable without it. But with it, I felt great. Even though I may have looked cuckoo bananas. And then after I got married, once Andrew and I were in a serious relationship, I felt maybe almost too comfortable. And those early years and through the kids being young, I was makeup less. And so proud of myself that I could finally, for the first time in my life, be comfortable au naturel. Now, as I've aged and gotten older, I've kind of reverted back to presenting myself a little bit put together. So I think, and then also when I was younger, I used drinking to be confident in social situations and be lubricated and loose and my inhibitions gone and talkative and up and this false sense of joy and bubbliness that I got from alcohol that would turn into anxiety and dread after so many years, But I don't drink anymore. So, and Andrew and I were trying to figure out the last time I had a drink, and there wasn't like a marked day. Like on this day in 2020, I stopped drinking. It just faded and faded and faded once the kids came. I had no room for it in my life anymore. I had no need for it in my life anymore. I needed to be sharp and with it and healthy and feeling good in order to raise these crazy boys. So it just fell off of my radar. I even tried. I remember going in the backyard and having trying to make like a vodka soda to try to adult it in our backyard and to stay at home for the evening with the kids. And it just never took. Thank God it never took. And I was able to stop. And I think it was at my girlfriend's wedding was the last time I can actually remember. And I think that was 2016. People who are alcoholics or drug addicts and quit and usually go through a program always know their specific day. And I don't, because I didn't consider myself that. But I did use alcohol to get through social situations. So today, I feel like I struggle in social situations and being a little self-conscious. And that would be the number one thing I would change about myself. If I didn't already say that, did I already say that? That would be the one I'd change about myself? Oh, a trait in someone else. Okay, yes. Let's add to that. A trait in someone else that I would want to take on as my own. Another one. The laissez-faire, free-spirited attitude, right? And the ability to walk through a party of unknown people with ease, comfort, and an arsenal of the right things to say. I would want that. I would want that trait. Because I just get caught up, unless I'm real comfortable with someone, I just get caught up in what I'm saying, what I'm doing, And I'm self-conscious, and I hate that about myself because I think it makes me, it makes my circle small, which is fine because I'm quality over quantity. But it does close me off to some opportunities because not putting myself in the room, not saying yes to everything, and avoiding certain situations that I'm just not comfortable in. I don't push myself into those situations as maybe I should if I want to grow. Okay. Oh, that was a good answer. Okay. How do I react to challenges? Let me just see if I skipped any, guys. I'm just zooming here. We're at 34 minutes. How do I rate my self-confidence? Okay. Who has made the most significant impression on me and why? I think my husband has. Because these formative adult years, living with someone and growing with someone and changing with someone and developing a family with someone and making these huge decisions with someone as a partnership and as a team, you just really absorb the other's energy and feelings. And there's just so much adulting to be done, just so much life to live on your own outside of your parents' regime. So I think he's a good person. And I don't know if I'm like a good person, but he's like got a good heart person. You know what I mean? I always say this, and I say this quite a bit, but like if there was a burning building, he would run into the building. I would pretend like I didn't see it. So hopefully maybe it'll rub off on me. It hasn't in 18 years, but maybe it will in the next 18. So let's see where we are here. Okay, so that was who has made the most significant impression on me and why. I just feel like, not that we've become one, but we're so intertwined that it would be impossible not to have an impression made on me. I just hope it's like the good, big-hearted things that I take on and that I learn from. Like if I see an old woman on the side of the road, injured, help her rather than pretend like I don't see her. Like I need that kind of energy that my husband has. Okay. What frustrates me about my current life? Oh my God. I get a little bit frustrated with like the kids' sports. And I've interviewed quite a few people. People who driving, I get frustrated with driving. I get frustrated with people that act like they don't have anywhere to go in any time frame. And it's like they're just on a leisurely drive. I get frustrated with that. And then I get frustrated with people who are mad at me driving. I get a lot of middle fingers thrown my way. If you're at a green light for 1 second, I get honked at. And it happens constantly. And it can sometimes really, really swing my mood. Middle fingers out the door, at the window at me, just for like veering slightly, giving them plenty of space, but going in front of someone. I do a turn signal, a lot of room, and I'll still get a middle finger. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm targeted out there. So driving frustrates me a lot. Oh my God, you know what else frustrates me? Kids sports. But I also want to touch on gaining weight. And what frustrates me is that the food you eat and the calories you consume makes you gain weight. And that a perimenopausal woman, metabolism is shit. And no matter how hard I work on my body, move, eat clean, it comes down to calories in. And it makes me freaking nuts that I cannot eat everything I used to eat. I haven't had a piece of pizza in I don't know how long. I haven't had a French fry in I don't know how long. And I love food. So that really, really frustrates me. Kids sports. I'm afraid that in 20 years, I will regret not enjoying the kids' youth sports. I don't enjoy the kids' youth sports. Shoot me, okay? Some people absolutely live for it, and it ain't me. It ain't me. Now, I also don't have super athletic children. I have kids that try hard, and I have kids that like a team atmosphere, but they're just never gonna be superstars. So I'm on the tail end of basketball season right now. I'm like of 7th grade basketball. So going 45 minutes after school at night, driving home at 8:30 at night from these small towns, I don't enjoy that when my kid is sitting on the bench the entire game. But I have to fake it and make it seem, okay, I'm here for you. It doesn't matter that you didn't play. You're just enjoying the team atmosphere, and that's great. So I have to put on a happy face. But that's frustrating, okay? It's frustrating to take them to practice day in and day out. Day in and day out. And then they sit on the bench for the entire game, while some of their teammates are just superstars, like incredible. So it's hard for me to watch because I want him to be confident and feel good, and it's hard for me to watch others soar and know that he's never going to be the star basketball player. He's never going to be the star baseball player. But he could be a hell of an actor or comedian. He has charisma out the wazoo and personality. So we have to bank on that. And that's the pot we have to fill. Okay, so not being able to eat whatever I want as I hit 40. Like not being able to outrun a bad diet. Youth sports, so frustrating. I just don't enjoy it. And there has been so many people I've interviewed that have said, you're going to miss it one day. And I have a girlfriend who's in the prime of signing your kid up for everything, and she loves it. And she loves to coach. And it just ain't for me. And then I said one other thing. Oh, driving. Being honked at and flipped the bird at pisses me off. Okay, watching the clock. We're doing so good. I'm going to take a break, and then I'll be back for the next deep question. Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm back. I had the producer come in for a second. I think I'm good. Okay, I'll do one more. Okay. We're getting there, you guys. And this is just flying by. It's so enjoyable. Okay. Next one. I just found one that really intrigued me. What's the bravest thing I've ever done? So back in the day, college, early marriage, even before that, I really was so much more of a risk taker than I am now. I have completely lost the urge or ability to put my body in a dangerous situation, i.e. skiing, i.e. bungee jumping. My husband and I, on our first anniversary, jumped out of a plane, which absolutely does not appeal to me whatsoever. Now, never ever again. But once I had kids, it was like I stopped doing anything extremely fun or dangerous. I just stopped. I just lost it. I lost the urge to drink, and I lost the urge to risk myself getting hurt. Got to take care of those kids. I just cannot get hurt. So anyway, bravest thing I've ever done, jump out of the plane, bungee jump. But I had been drinking when I did the bungee jumping, so that doesn't even count. Okay. Oh my gosh, some of these are deep. Oh gosh, okay. What are my priorities? What are my priorities? So I think I should do this in two ways. I'm going to do what my priorities are and what I think my priorities should be, okay? Here's what my priorities should be. My husband, Fletcher, and Nolan, and Piper, and my parents, and my brother, and my close friends, that should be my priority, okay? Nurturing, developing, strengthening those relationships. Teaching my kids new things, exposing my kids to new things, constantly reiterating values and morals and faith and education and different languages and continuously developing their brains, expanding their minds, right? That should be my priority. Those things should be my priorities. But what my priorities are a tidy, organized, procedural home. Yeah. That's my priority. My priority is having everything in my life in order. And that is where I get peace. I wish I could have been the mom that put glitter everywhere or allowed, paint everywhere. Or again, that free-spirited, laissez-faire attitude. Let's tie-dye in our underwear. Let's do the messy thing, right? There's some kind of like placard that I always really resented. I think it's at Curtis Orchard. It's like a messy oven equals a happy home or something along those lines. And a messy oven gives me anxiety. So I'm just trying to tell you where I'm coming from. what my priorities should be and what they are. Okay. What's something I do well every day? Oh, gosh. Okay, and then I want to go to this bucket list one. Because I actually have. Okay, I've thought of quite a few recently. Okay. What's something I do well every day? Okay, here's something I do well every day. Move my body. I do that well because I never sit down. Doing this podcast is the most I'll sit. I'm just constantly in motion, moving from one thing to the next to the next. So moving my body, I do better than most, I would say. I try to eat well. So I don't think I do that really well. And I love on my children and husband. Love on them. I do that really well every day. The kisses, the hugs, the loves yous. They're never going to doubt that I love them. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so what are the top 5 items on your bucket list? Okay, so now, of course, I'm going to go to my Google Drive and I'm going to open bucket lists. Now, I haven't updated this in a while. I thought of one. There's a lake that I want to go to that looks really pretty in Canada. Lake Louise? Oh, yeah. Okay. Lake Louise. So I want to add that. That's in Alberta, Canada. Okay, so now okay. This has been a while, you guys. So swim. All right, I won't do them all. Oh, God. Okay. Swim and feed sharks in a mesh metal suit. And then in parentheses, I put, could be doubled up with any of the places listed. Thorough. Dig geoducks in the Puget Sound in Seattle. These are really, oh my God, the next one. Okay, so I'm going to show you what a geoduck is. Because it is wild. Wild. Okay. It looks a little phallic. Okay, can you see it? It's not. Look at that. Is that the craziest thing you have ever seen? It's a living animal in the water with a body and a siphon and a neck. It is gross and weird looking, but I don't know. I saw that somewhere on some program back in the day. And I thought that would be fun. Go on a European vacation, including pot smoking in Amsterdam, visiting the Lovers Bridge on the Seine River and putting a padlock on the bridge's fence, throwing away the key. I don't think you can do that anymore. I think that was been banned. And I do not want to smoke pot in Amsterdam or anywhere, ever. I tried it 4 or 5, handful of times in high school, and I could not get into it. It caused me anxiety, and my leg twitched and tweaked. And the first time I did it, I'm not kidding, it was for 48 hours. I did not feel like myself. And again, out of control. It did not take with me. So I can remove that one. Visit Japan. Go to Mardi Gras. Go to the Cherry Blossom Festival in Washington, D.C. Take a tour on a canoe down a bioluminescent body of water where the microorganisms glow when you put your hand in the water. So it's kind of looks like something you see on Disney. Okay. Go to Denver, Colorado for weed tourism. I have changed. Okay. We're going to take our last break and we'll get to the next question. Okay. And we are back. You guys, I'm going to have to wrap up. I'll have to do this again because I enjoyed this, but I only have quite a few minutes left. Okay. What 3 items would I like to acquire in the next 5 years? When my kids move out, I want to blow out one of their walls and make a dressing room. So I'm going to put that on there. Okay. An electric bike. My husband and I want to get electric bikes. I think that'd be fun. And then I want to get an infrared sauna blanket. Okay. So this is like a huge plastic sleeping bag that you plug in. And I've done it once at a yoga place. And you lay down on the floor in the blanket and nude. And it makes you sweat all over the place. And it's supposed to be very therapeutic. So I think those are the 3 things that I would like to acquire in the next 5 years. Okay. The producer came in and I think it is time for me to say goodbye, but I will do this again and let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the solo show. We miss Andrew, but I will do it again if the response is good. So thank you guys. Bye. Thank you for listening to this week's HyperLocal show. If you like what you hear or you need anything from me, let me know at hyperlocalscu.com. Also, search and follow HyperLocalsCU on all social media. Like me, follow me. Bye.